Alright, I'm changing a automatic transmission filter on a 95 Ford Taurus. Now, what I normally try is, this stuff gets all over you anyway. That's just all there is to it. It's messy. But what I normally try is I take most of the bolts out and I'll leave one right here, and I'll take them all down the side out. And there'll be one, like I said, one holding it here, and then I'll put two of them. You'll have two of them in this hinge part right here. And then what I'll do is the bolts are still tight to 3. What I'll do is I'll loosen this one and kind of pull down on this, because it's narrow on this side. So most of your fluid's going to try to run out, and I'm going to try to catch as much as I can with this pan right here. So we're gonna give her our best shot. Let me see here. I've got to take this loose. This one, I just use a little impact driver. Make sure it's going the right way. Now, I'm probably not going to take the bolt all the way out. That way it doesn't dump all the way. It'll just have a crack in it. And I'm going to take a little screwdriver. And I'm hoping this works. I'm going to take a little screwdriver and I'm going to put up in between the surface, flat screwdriver, and try to just get a little crack going. And you can see it's starting to drip. There we go. You see, you got a steady run. You don't need that stuff coming out real fast, because all it's going to do is just make a huge mess. And you can actually shove the screwdriver in there and leave it gapped open. See how all of it's going? It's in the narrow part of this thing. And I'm trying to get a scoop back here. It's all going down there in the pan. It's in the narrow side. I left 2 bolts tight on the corners, back corners back here. That way all the fluid, once you let it gapped here, all your fluid's going to run to this narrow end, and it's skinnier, so it's going to be easier to catch on this end. So, and like I said, I've got that bolt still in there, but I've got it twisted about halfway out, just enough to get a screwdriver stuck in that thing. And then you'll let that in here. Now this thing holds, from what I read, it's like 12 quarts. Now that's counting the torque converter and all, so I don't know exactly how much is going to come out of here. This thing's a 5-quart pan. If it starts to overflow my pan, what I'll do is I'll take that screw and I'll drive it in, shut this off, and then I'll pour this into a jug and then restart it all over. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's no screws along the sides. I've taken them all out, and I left one right here, and then I left 2, and there's one on the back of this one and then one on the back of this corner. That way it would act as a hinge and it wouldn't drop. But I'll let this thing drain as long as it takes, as long as it stays clean. And I'm not getting any on the floor, which I did when I was changing the side case. I got a little bit on the floor there, but if you get all this coming out on you it's all at one time, it's going to be bad. Now you can twist your screwdriver just a little bit. You want to be easy not to damage the surface of the transmission where the gasket goes, but it'll start to come out a little faster. And there's going to be a lot of fluid in this thing. And you just keep letting it drain until you just don't get any more out, and then there'll always be some in the pan, because it's not going to come out there. So when you drop that pan, you want to drop it level. Try to hold it as level as possible and set it down on the ground as quick as possible to get it out of your hands. Keep from splashing it and spilling it all over the place. And it's coming out pretty good. It's not a overflow or anything, but it's steady and it's clean. It's not causing any fluid all over the ground or all over the floor. And that's what you want. You just want that to keep coming out till it quits. And then you know there's going to be plenty in that pan, so you got to watch. I may loosen up the two back ones, and then I'll loosen this one just a little bit more. I want this one to stay in, but I'll loosen up the back ones and try to get this to tilt down a little bit more once it quits flowing. That way I can try to get as much out of the pan as I possibly can. That way I don't get it all over me. I'm probably still going to spill some on me, so that's just the way it goes. I mean, you ain't going to stay completely clean, but it's nice when you can, though. It's just a steady pour, and it's just coming out of this one side. It's not even coming out the back side. Now I'm starting to move the screwdriver in a little bit more. I'm about half full of my pan already. There's a lot of fluid in these things.